Hey, good to see you again.
Bro.
You've been away from this bar for far too long.
Oh, I know. I missed it. I missed my sweet wine.
My honoree today, this man believed in being a minimalist, meaning he was very a hands-off president. And people praised him for it. He did not like to do a lot because he felt the president's job was to keep bad things from happening, not to interfere. I just think it's pretty funny how today, the president's not doing enough, man. And back then, nah, we're happy with you doing nothing. You stay over there, we'll take care of ourselves.
Yeah,
What the heck?
But let's compare the times here. This is the roaring 20s compared to COVID America here. So, a lot is different. If you're having to be the president, lucky enough, during a time that's going good, why screw it up by messing and stuff?
Short and sweet, just like your wine. Short
just like my wine.
and sweet. Hey! You guys look like you're very parched and need something short and sweet. Come on over. Grab a bar stool. Grab your favorite beverage. I have some Coolidge stories to tell you.
Oh, I like what you did there.
Oh.
Now that's good history.
Calvin Coolidge was the 30th President of the United States. He was Vice President of President Warren G. Harding. He was a Governor of Massachusetts. He was Lieutenant Governor of Massachusetts. He was President of the Massachusetts State Senate. He was a Senator of Massachusetts State Congress. He was the Mayor of Northampton. He was a representative of the Massachusetts House of Representatives. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to A Toast to History. It's Independence Day, everybody. Happy Independence Day. I hope you all have your hamburgers, your hot dogs. Hope you all seeing some fireworks out there. When you're not watching this video, please watch it first, then go back to the fireworks. I hope you're celebrating the American way. Today, I'm not going over the American story. Why, Jared? Why don't you go to the American story? That's the perfect day to do it. Because if I did that, we'd be forgetting about somebody. I'm going over the presidents, and we have a president to honor. Now, the 4th of July has not been very good to our presidents. We've had 3 presidents that have died on the 4th of July. John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and James Monroe. 3 out of our first 5 presidents died on the 4th. It has not been a good day for our presidents. But we do have one. I bring to you Calvin Coolidge, who was born on Independence Day. So, let me tell you what's cool about Coolidge. Coolidge's early life, as we said, he was born on the 4th of July in 1872. His father was very into local politics and helped inspire him to better himself, and it eventually got him into politics himself. But early on, he went to college to study law. He actually passed the bar and became a lawyer. He married his wife, Grace Ann Goodhue, who was a teacher, and a very good teacher, and she taught at the Clark School of the Deaf. They had 2 sons, Calvin and John. One was named after him, and one was named after his father. He was mostly a Massachusetts politician. Now, everything was in Massachusetts. Now, he eventually was governor of the state of Massachusetts, and there was a huge police strike that was getting well out of hand in Boston. So after a while, he was basically delegate, let them handle it. It's their town, let them handle it. But it got to a point where he's like, no, I got to step in there and handle it. And he brought in the National Guard, and he took over the police force himself until everything was calmed down. This got him on the national stage. Now, he was not just a Massachusetts guy. He was wow, the nation knows him kind of a guy, and he supported businesses, and he got support from business corporations as well as the local people who saw that, hey, he knew what he was doing, and he was forceful and direct. And then, of course, Warren G. Harding is looking for a candidate to run for run for president. He's looking for a vice. And he's like, this guy is getting a lot of good press. Might be a good guy to bring her along for the ride. And here we go, your vice president, Calvin Coolidge. Now, Calvin Coolidge is now vice president of the United States. And we all know vice president's kind of that man behind the curtain. He's working out there, he's doing his thing, but you don't really focus on it. You really don't know what he's doing back there. Yes, he's working hard, but you don't remember what he did. Because why? Because if he does do something great, the big guy gets the credit for it. And if he does something bad, the big guy gets credit for it. You always blame the president. I have never heard one person say, you know what, that was a terrible vice president and he should be impeached. I've never heard that. You always blame the big guy. So he's the vice president. He's behind Harding. So, but on August 3rd, 1923, his number gets called. Warren G. Harding dies of a heart attack. So now they're like, oh my gosh, it's time, Coolidge. You're in. You're in. It's time. You're the big guy now. But they don't know where he's at. They can't find him. They can't contact him. Why? Because he's visiting his parents. And they are one of the only people in town that have no phone nor electricity. His father didn't believe in it. So, because it was a new thing. So, they can't call him on the phone. You're not going to mail this in a letter. So they have to send somebody out there and tell him, Mr. Coolidge, you're the President of the United States. So they get there about 3 o'clock in the morning, knock on his door. Mr. Coolidge, you're the President of the United States. But now he needs to be sworn in. And almost immediately, because we need a president. We can't just have the office wide open like that. Now, under normal circumstances, you have the Chief Supreme Court Justice who swears in the president. But when it's something this drastic, the closest and best available will do. And the closest and best available is his dad in the living room, because his dad is a justice of the peace in that town. So his dad swears him in as the 30th President of the United States. How about that for being cool? Hey, Pops, come here in the living room. I need you for a second. Dad, you can make me president. Let's get this over with. So he swears him in. 3 o'clock in the morning, swears him in his pajamas. And he goes upstairs and goes to bed. How do you do that, man? How do you like, hey, you're the boss. Great, awesome, guys, woo! All right, I'm over it. I'm going to bed. I don't get it. I'd be up all night. There's no way I could go to bed after that, such a news. So he serves out the last year of Harding's term. Now it's the Roaring 20s. Everything's going great. Everything's running smoothly. And because it's Harding's thing, he's like, I don't really want to change a lot. So he basically rides the last year out. But his party convinced him, you know what, you should run again. You didn't do a bad job. Let's keep this going. And he agrees. So he gets a running mate, Charles Dawes, and runs for the election in 1924. With the words, stay cool with Coolidge. I'm telling you, there's a lot of good taglines out there. Tippy Canoe and Tyler 2. FDR had some good ones. We like Ike. There's some good taglines out there, but stay cool with Coolidge is probably one of the top 5. I'm telling you, your name sets you up, buddy. It sets you up. You have one of the best taglines. Whether you were a good president or not, the tagline is catchy. I tell you that. Now, he only wins with 54% of the vote. We didn't know who you were. You were a Massachusetts man. You're the vice president. You're the man behind the curtain. And you basically jump in for the last year. We really don't know who you are. But he still squeaks it out and wins. And now he's the first president that is sworn in this time, not by his dad, but by the real Supreme Court Justice, William Howard Taft. You might have heard of him. He was a president too. He's the first president to be sworn in by a former president. Now we have the cool president, Calvin Coolidge. He's the man now. He's actually won his own set of terms. And he's during the Roaring Twenties. He's the Victorian era. This is between World War I and World War II. It's the 2 cars in every garage. Everybody has a television set. Everybody is living life and loving it. And America's prospering and everywhere. We are at one of the richest times in our entire country's lifetime career. We are at our all-time high during this time. So he's like a good clockmaker. It's running. I'm not going to tinker with it. I'm not going to mess with it. This was his policy. He was more macro. If it's a big problem, all right, you've got my attention and I settle it. But if it's a little problem, no. Figure it out yourself. He stayed out of things. He vetoed a lot of bills that would change policies because he's like, no, we're running good. Let's keep the status quo. And no, boom, 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 boom. Let's let the machine run the way it's supposed to be running. International policies, simple, direct. Really didn't do a lot. I don't care what's going on out there. At home's doing great. His big thing during his entire presidency was the Immigration Act of 1924. Like I said, the Roaring Twenties, everything's booming. So a lot of people want to come in and buy into this part of the pie and prosper like the United States is. So he makes sure he limits how many immigrants can come in per year. And you only allow this number, and you do an application process, and we bring it in very slowly so as not to disrupt the economy. Then, he's like a less is more person. Let businesses regulate themselves. So the businesses love him because they can do whatever the heck they want and not worry about government interference. The people are like him because he's not dipping into their pocketbooks and their money because he's just like, all right, you guys are prospering. Sounds good. Put my feet up on the desk and there's my day. He's very photogenic. He's always there for a photo op. He's always well dressed, or if it's an event like Easter, he'll have a costume on. He's always up for a, you want a picture? Go. I'm great for the papers. And it's the Roaring Twenties, and they're snapshot and everything these days because we're doing great. Now, after his first term in office, he decides to step aside. He doesn't want to run for a next term. And he goes in the office and retires. A year later, the Great Depression hits. You're either one of the luckiest men alive to get out 1 year before the Great Depression, or you're very perceptive. It's your birthday. We're keeping it cool. I'm going to call you lucky. Now, normally I say this is the time of the show where I go you the stuff you didn't learn in your history books about Calvin Coolidge. But today we're changing it, guys. These are cool facts about Coolidge. Boom! Welcome to Cool Facts about Coolidge. Let's rock it out, Calvin. I'm going to say more than 3 words about you. I hope you like the words I say. He was known for being a very quiet guy. He had a very nasally voice. He didn't like his voice. He was very nasally. He didn't like to talk very much. He had fun but very dry humor. He didn't get a lot of laughs. So he decided he really didn't talk very much. Now, if you want to take a picture, he'd take a picture with you all day. He'd take 100 photos. He's one of the most photographed presidents we've ever had. But he didn't talk a lot. He'd shake your hand, say a few words to you, and move on. There's one very funny story. He's at a banquet. He's next to this huge movie star. And like I said, he's known as Silent Cow, and everybody knows it. He don't talk a lot. So this actress next to him says, hey, Mr. President, I'm going to get you to say more than 3 words to me tonight. He looks there and says, you lose. And he carries on. He doesn't talk with her. He sits beside this woman the entire time, says that, doesn't talk to her the rest of the evening. That's the man he was. He didn't talk. If he needed to say something, he'd say it. If he wasn't, no. No, you ain't getting more than 3 words out of me. Do you think you can discuss with some politicians today the no speech thing? Because there are some that are out there talking that just hurts my head. He brought Helen Keller to the White House. Now, we talked about his wife taught the Clark School of the Deaf. So they bring Helen Keller to the White House and really bring awareness for deaf people. And they raise a fund of $2 million and donate it to deaf schools. Now, he's the first president to visit Cuba. Now, we know after World War II, we have problem with the Russians, and we have problem with Cuba and Kennedy. And if you look at my Kennedy video, we put an embargo on Cuba where we don't do any trade. So after Coolidge, no president will visit Cuba until Obama will. It's kind of funny. I don't like to embarrass people on this show, but it's a fun fact, man. I'm sorry. He loved horseback riding. But they have a Secret Service now, and they say, no, Mr. President, it's not safe. We don't want you to ride real horses. So they put in the White House this mechanical horse. They call it Thunderbolt. It has 2 settings, trot and gallop. Trot and gallop. And he rides this horse once a day before bed. Now, the press see this thing and they give him so much flack and hell about this thing that he stops riding it. He's like, no, he gets rid of it. But this is the Roaring 20s. There are so many different things out there. So he is into anything that makes you look fit, that makes you think. He had the belt that does the thing. My grandma had one in the basement. I never saw it actually run, but she had one. And he was into anything new and innovative. And this was one of the things he had. An old Thunderbolt was put out to pasture. It didn't pan out. Now, this man was huge in animals. Huge. If you look at his things, he had a freaking zoo at the White House. And he had probably the most animals of any president in U.S. history. But I'm only going to mention a handful of them. One, he had 2 lion cubs that were donated to him from the mayor of a city in South Africa. And he called them Budget Bureau and Tax Deduction. Freaking hilarious. How does a man have lions, one, and the President of the United States at the White House have lions? I just see people at the gates chilling out. Mommy, that's a lion out there on the White House lawn. Yes, it is. That's tax deduction. Oh, come here, tax deduction. Come here. Let me rub your belly, tax deduction. This man pardoned a raccoon. Now, let me explain this a little bit. Okay. It's Thanksgiving Day. And when everybody else is sitting down there ready to eat their turkey, a citizen knows that he's an animal lover. And he sends him a live raccoon in order to present him for Thanksgiving Day. So how would you like, oh, honey, instead of turkey this year, we're going raccoon. Look at that face. That's the exact face that man probably saw when he saw the raccoon. And that's what you want me to have for Thanksgiving dinner. Probably the same face. I guarantee it. I'd put money on it. Boom. Hard-earned money. Right there. That was the face. I pardon you, and he gave it to his wife. And his wife loved the thing, named it Rebecca. But the White House staff hated Rebecca. Rebecca was a live, wild animal. Not a trained raccoon, a live, wild animal. And this animal tore up furniture, tore up the White House, and the White House staff were chasing this thing all over the White House, and they hated this thing. hated it. Now in 1928, when he is about ready to resign, say, you know what, it's time for the next person to come in. Now, you don't take the White House staff with you when you leave the presidency. No. You might have Secret Service for some time, but no, you leave the staff behind. So you know what? These animals start to be donated to zoos in 1928, including Rebecca, including these lion cubs, because you know what? I don't see this man taking care of them like that White House staff did, and the White House staff probably saying, I'm sorry, tired of cleaning up lion poop. Boo! Boo, I didn't sign up for this. Lion cubs, bear cubs, freaking raccoon. You had a pygmy hippo named Billy. Who the hell's seen a pygmy hippo? Where'd you put him? Oh, please say it was in Taft's bathtub, because that's freaking hilarious. To Calvin Coolidge. Nowadays, we all are like, the government should do this. The government should do this. Why is the government doing this to me? Why is the government doing that? Why are you doing this? This man believed in no government getting into your life. Everybody wants something from the government now. He was like, no. I'm staying out. You need to live for yourself. This is America. You need to make yourself a better man. It's not the government's job to make you a better man. So, that's Calvin Coolidge. Do little, say nothing, let you live your life. Right now, that does not sound too bad. Let me live my life, let me make my choices, and you know what? To Calvin Coolidge, he might not be known a lot, but born the 4th of July, he knew the American way and how it's supposed to be done. To Calvin Coolidge, happy birthday, Mr. President. Now that's cool history.